There comes a time in every smartphone user's life when it's time to move on, when it's time to go from the old and replace it with the new. But there's some steps that you need to do. Do you want to leave your old just sitting there on the shelf gathering dust? Maybe you want to give it to a family member, sell it to a friend, or maybe even put it up on a classifieds website. But it's got all of your personal information on it. You don't want to give it away with all of that. So how can you wipe everything and get it all ready for whoever it is that's going to take on your device and give it new life? That's what we're going to talk about on today's episode, The Android Power User. So I'm going to show you how to do this on 4 devices. The steps are pretty much the same, but there are a few things you want to keep in mind. There are also a few things that you want to keep in mind if your device can use an SD card, like these 2 devices can, but these 2 devices cannot. So what do we have? This is a T-Mobile G2. This is a Samsung Galaxy Nexus. Of course, the Motorola Droid Razr HD, and the Nexus 7 from Google. This is the T-Mobile G2, or the HTC Desire Z in its generic version. It's running right now a CyanogenMod Nightly version 7.2 point something or other, which means it's running Gingerbread, Android 2.3.7. So how are we going to go ahead and take care of this? Let's go ahead and hit Menu on the home screen and go into Settings. From there we're going to come down to Privacy and Factory Data Reset. From here, this does have an SD card slot. It does have an SD card in the slot. So we're going to go ahead and say erase that. Now, word of warning, sometimes this isn't erasing what you think it's erasing, meaning some phones have an internal SD card and an external SD card. You might not know which it is. My advice, take the SD card out of your device after you've run through this whole process. Just a lot easier. You're going to be in there to get your SIM anyway, so go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and reset phone, and now it asks you if you want to reset everything. And yes, we do want to erase everything. In this case, you can see I've got a problem. It's saying I have an invalid path null. So let's go back, try this again without the erase SD card, and go from there. You can see that was causing me a problem because, well, I don't have anything on my SD card, and some developer didn't write for that contingency. It's going to go ahead and run through the process. Usually this will involve a reboot, maybe 2, while it wipes everything off the phone. This is currently my daily driver. It's the Samsung Galaxy Nexus, the GSM variety. But I'll show you the first steps on how I'd go about erasing this. One thing to keep in mind, this does not have an SD card in it, so I don't have to worry about any of that. I'm going to pull down the notification shade and then hit my settings button. From there, instead of going to privacy like we did on the last one, I'm going to come down to backup and reset, and you can see that that's under the personal section. Inside here, I've got all these options, and factory data reset tells me a little bit of a warning that says this is going to erase the internal storage. That includes everything: music, photos, downloads, and all of your account settings. Now, I'm not going to do this on my daily driver. Just letting you know, this is Android Jelly Bean 4.1.2, so I'd go ahead and reset phone, and that's how I do it over there. Let's take a look at Ice Cream Sandwich next. So here we have the Motorola Droid Razr HD from Verizon. This is the one that we've been reviewing for the last several days. If we want to go ahead and reset this back, we pull down the notification shade, hit our little gear to get us into settings. Now this is Ice Cream Sandwich, and we have to scroll down again to privacy. Tap on that, and we are going to now factory data reset. All of that's already configured, so let's go ahead and reset phone. It says this is going to take about 10 minutes. Do we want to erase everything? Yes. Now, I do not have an SD card in the phone, but it does have an SD card slot. Will this erase that or not? I wouldn't chance it. Pull the SD card out when you pull your SIM out, so that you're not going to be giving that information to someone else. You might not have anything on the SD card, but it's relatively easy to pull stuff off even after you've deleted it. That's just the nature of SD storage. This is Google's Nexus 7 tablet. It is running a CyanogenMod Nightly, so it's the latest and greatest 4.1.2 build of Jelly Bean. To reset this, we do the same thing. We pull down our notification shade, we hit Settings, and once we're in Settings, we find Backup and Reset under the Personal section. From there, Factory Data Reset, everything on the tablet, and it's just as easy as that. So as you can see, resetting the data on your device and getting it ready for resale or giving to someone else isn't all that difficult, though there are a few different ways to go about doing it depending on the device that you have and the operating system that it's running. Another item to note, in addition to take out that SD card, that's just a bonus tip for you. But another item to note is a lot of times this is referred to as a factory reset. And that's a little bit confusing because you're not restoring this to a factory image at all. In fact, if your device came with, say, Android version 4.1.1, and then you installed 4.1.2 later on, and then you did a factory reset, it's going to reset it back to 4.1.2. So it's not going all the way back to factory. The same thing goes if you have CyanogenMod or AOKP or any other custom ROM. You're restoring it back to the factory version of that custom ROM. That also includes your custom recovery image as well. So it's not factory fresh. So if you're listing this on Craigslist or your local classifieds, you don't want to say it's factory. You want to still say that it's running whatever custom ROM it is. Unless you do want to do a factory reset, in which case it's not a reset at all. You've got to go out and you've got to find the original factory images for your device and then flash them all and of course do a QC to make sure everything's still working, you didn't break something in the process. I wouldn't go that far. I think a custom ROM is a benefit. It's an added benefit to your device, but hey, that's just me. What do you think? Hopefully you feel a little bit more comfortable wiping your device and reselling it or giving it to someone else and giving your device new life, whether that's your phone or your tablet, whether it's stock or custom, instead of just throwing it in a drawer and letting it gather dust. Because after all, that's what Android power users do. Instead of just keeping stuff all around, myself excluded because I got to do videos like this, we like to give our stuff back to the community and grow the Android power user base. That's what this video series is really all about. So, did you like what you saw? If so, please give the video a big thumbs up. If you've got any questions or comments, head over to the article at pocketnow.com, leave the comments down below so we can get back to you and so other people can learn from your questions and your answers. For Pocket Now, showing you how to reset your device, I'm Joe Levi. Thanks for watching.